The solar eclipse is coming up here in what, 2 days? You want to go ahead and share this because this is irrefutable evidence what I'm about to show you. So this guy here on YouTube, Professor Stick, he comes out with a video and it's gaining quite a lot of momentum. And it's a bunch of baloney. He supposedly be debunking D-Marble. So you know I gotta come put in that work. Now if you check the description area, you can see D-Marble's channel and you can also see this nutcase channel who think he debunking something. Now I'm gonna point out some things about this eclipse that's gonna blow you away. So let's hop right into it because I don't want to waste too much of your time. Now this is a 12-minute long video, but I don't want to watch this whole video. I just put the link in the description for you guys to do that. I'm just gonna play about 3 minutes of this video because that's all I need to play to make my point and debunk his whole 12-minute video. And you're going to see why I say that in a minute. The way a lot of globalists are trying to debunk flat earth with this solar eclipse, either they're ignorant or disingenuous. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So let's go ahead and play this so we can begin.
So, as you guys have probably heard, there's a solar eclipse that will be happening on August 21st, and boy oh boy do we have the flat earthers jumping straight into this topic. I looked around for a few videos and I found one that has quite a decent amount of views, so I said to myself, well, since a lot of people have seen this video, this is probably the best one to debunk, so here it is.
So there's a lot of talk about eclipses lately, due to the upcoming event of the August 21st solar eclipse. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon's shadow falls somewhere on the Earth's surface. A lunar eclipse is the opposite. This happens when the Earth's shadow falls on the moon.
So he goes on to explain how eclipses work before he tries to debunk it. I'm sure you guys are well versed in your astronomy, so I'm going to skip this part. Feel free to head to the original video to watch the whole thing if you like.
During the total solar eclipse taking place on August 21st, a strange occurrence is going to take place. During this particular eclipse, the shadow of the moon will be traveling from the west coast to the east coast.
I don't know why you said in this particular eclipse, since for all solar eclipses the shadow will travel from west to east, but whatever, let's keep going.
In a short video, and I'll post this link below in the description, the question was posed to the Washington Post as to why. Many people are asking the question, why the shadow is going to be moving from the west to the east coast.
Well, you see, there's a pretty simple explanation, really. The Earth is rotating counterclockwise as seen looking down at the North Pole. Normally, if we place the moon as being stationary, then it wouldn't make any sense for the shadow to be traveling from west to east. However, that is not the case. The moon itself is traveling in a counterclockwise direction around the Earth as well, as seen from above the North Pole. Well, actually, from the Earth's perspective, since we have a greater angular speed than that of the moon's orbit, it looks as if the moon is traveling from east to west, or clockwise as seen from above the North Pole. But for the purposes of this model, we will look at it from an absolute perspective instead of a relative one. So the moon is traveling counterclockwise.
Okay, 2 minutes into the video and I can tell you right now the globe is already debunked, and what Professor Stick is doing right now is disingenuous. What you mean, brother Sanchez? Well, look at the model. D-Marble is actually debunking this model. Professor Stick is using this model to make his argument. So we're going to use this model to debunk his argument. How am I going to do that? Well, simple. The model he's using is inaccurate. Therefore, it debunks his whole experiment. So let me explain what I mean. You cannot prove the globe by using a model that's not to scale. In other words, look at the moon in this model. Check this out, right? Look at the moon in the model. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to that because we are taught that the moon is 238,000 miles away from Earth. And if this was a miniature scale of our moon and Earth, this would really be disingenuous. If you want to make this moon 238,000 miles away and use a miniature scale like this one, it would look something like this. Here we go right here. This is a good one. So I want y'all to really pay attention to what's going on, okay? The model that these globalists are using is gonna work with the globe because it's disingenuous. Look at how close this moon is to Earth. Now, I want to point out some more stuff to you. So, one thing I want to point out is the path of the solar eclipse, as you can see here. Usually when you see wacky space pictures, the moon is unrealistically close to the earth. What's up with that? That's what's going on here in his model. The globalists are using the wrong scale to try to debunk flat earth, but they're being disingenuous. If the moon is 238,000 miles away, why has Professor Stick got this bogus model up there? You see, let me show y'all something. This is how a flat earth look, I'm gonna say a solar eclipse look over flat earth. What I want you to pay attention to is the size of the sun and moon being the same, and also just pay attention to the scale. And I'm doing this for a reason. If you look at this model where the sun and moon is so having an eclipse above a flat earth, when you look at the sizes of them and the positions of them, and it's just a little rough draft model. If you were standing in South America, for example, right there, you would only be able to see that eclipse in South America. I want you to pay close attention to what I'm saying, people. If you were in South America on this model, you wouldn't be able to see that eclipse nowhere but from South America. You know why? Because this is how an eclipse would act out over a flat earth with a small sun and moon that's the same size above your head. In other words, it will be a local eclipse. What do you mean, Brother Sanchez? Well, let's go back to our globe model. Let's look at the real scale of the sun, the earth, and the moon. Look at this picture right here. You got the earth to the left, the moon way over here to the right. This how the model would actually look if the moon was 250,000 miles away. It would actually, this would be the correct scale. So I got a question for you. Here's the path of the solar eclipse. Why the hell is it only visible in America? Listen, guys, let's go back to the picture. If there was an eclipse happening on a globe with the moon that far away, everybody on that side of the globe would see it. It wouldn't be a local eclipse where it's just happening in one continent seeing it. South Americans would be able to see it as well if the moon was this far away. So look at the path of it again. Only these two people are going to be able to see the solar eclipse. If we were on a globe with the moon 238,000 miles away, why do we see a circular pattern? Look at the moon in this diagram they're using. Look at how small and close they got the moon. Does it look familiar? Yes, it looked familiar. I just showed you. It looked just like it would look over a flat earth map. So they showing you how this thing would look over a flat earth map with a small moon above your head, and it'll be actually a local eclipse because, again, for example, if I rewind this, look at this. This eclipse can only be seen over the continent that it's over when you look at the flat earth model. For example, if you was on this continent right here with the sun and moon the same sizes, close above your head, without no moon that's 250,000 miles away, imagine yourself on that continent down there. Only the people on that continent will see that eclipse, because this is how it works on a flat earth model. It will be local eclipses. But on a globe model, again, with the moon 250,000 miles away, everybody on that side of the globe will see this eclipse. It wouldn't just be limited to North America. Come on, people, wake up. If the moon was really that far away, South Americans will be able to see this shit too. Why is the path of this eclipse only visible to one continent if the moon is this far away? I tell you why, because you on a flat earth with a local sun and moon that's the same size and they're close above your head. And it's like Russian roulette, baby. Just so happen it's going to be over North America this time. And these things are predictable. The Vedics and many ancient people have been predicting them for years. But we sure not on a globe with an eclipse that's only visible in the United States. And they're telling us that the moon is this far away. Because that thing would be visible to that whole side of the globe. So I think I proved my point here. And I think it's a very simple point. that was pointed out by Jeranism at first. So shout out to Jeranism. He pointed that out. He said that, you know, just that simple observation alone debunks this thing, that, you know, you can't have a globe model with a moon that far away. We're talking, you know, 250,000 miles, and you telling me we're only going to see this eclipse, you know, we're only going to see it from the Americas. Now I'm saying the moon here. I just noticed that I'm using a moon. This is a solar eclipse that's happening, but that makes it even more dramatic because the sun is said to be further. So if the sun is 93 million miles away, damn it, I mean, that would surely be visible to the entire side of that globe. It wouldn't just be visible from the United States. This is from NASA, right? NASA teaches us that the moon is 238,000 miles away, yet when they're trying to explain this eclipse, they using a bogus model, just like their minions like Professor Stick. But if you want to look at a correct model of the moon from Earth, it will look like this. So they are deceiving you, y'all. You globalists, use this model and try to explain to us how the eclipse gonna be just visible from North America. Then you'll debunk the fucking flat earth. But if you try to use this model, you ain't debunking shit. You just being deceptive like your daddy. NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. And that's exactly what they doing with this picture. Because this is not to scale, just like they told you right here in the bottom. If drawn to scale, the moon will be 30 Earth diameters away from Earth. The sun will be 400 times that distance. They know y'all ain't gonna read the fine print. Why use a model that's not to scale, people? Why use it? Why not just go ahead and use, look, why not use this model and do the demonstration? Why? Why? This is the correct scale. Why the fuck would NASA use this model? It makes no fucking sense. There's no way that people in North America is gonna be seeing this eclipse, and it's only gonna be limited to people in North America if this model is true. Now the moon's supposed to be this far away, and you can't argue with me because NASA telling you on their fucking thing right here. This is from NASA's website. They're telling you that the model they're using to demonstrate this fuckery with is not to scale. They're telling you that the moon would really be 30 Earth diameters away from Earth. In other words, it'll look like what I'm showing you right here. So if we're gonna demonstrate this shit, why not use the correct scale? It makes damn sense to use the correct scale, y'all. Once you use the correct scale, it debunks the globe. Why? Because if you use the correct scale, then people in South America and the people on that whole entire side of the globe will see this eclipse. The only way you can explain a local eclipse that's going to happen coming up here is by cheating and pulling the goddamn moon up close in front of North America like NASA doing here. They cannot make this work on a correct scale, y'all. This is why they demonstrating this fuckery on a model that's not to scale. And y'all don't think nothing wrong with that? This is deception. Come on, guys. Why would you demonstrate this on a model that's not to scale? Because it just won't work on a correct globe scale that they teach us. This is how it will look. So if y'all want to debunk flat earth, use the correct model in front of your face right here and show us how that eclipse is going to be only visible in North America. Impossible. Flat earth wins again, and it proves that all of y'all are fucking deceivers. NASA means deceivers in Hebrew. So again, it's all about the scale, y'all. They got to cheat. The only way this can work is on a flat earth model. And I'm showing you that right here. You can have local solar eclipses. As you can see, this eclipse, if it was an eclipse happening here, it would have passed one continent and worked its way around till it goes above head above every continent. So you would have local eclipses on a flat earth. For example, According to this model, this eclipse would only be visible in South America. Any kind of model that would have local eclipses where they only visible in one continent, it wouldn't be a globe model. It would be one-sided, meaning the complete side of that globe would see it. There's no way you can have a local eclipse when you take the sun and moon and pull them that far away from the earth. When you got things that far away in distance, you couldn't have local phenomena, people. So scale matters in this experiment. This is why the only way NASA can make this work is by pulling the moon close. Share this with everybody you know, because once again, the globe have been debunked. Also, if you are buying those little glasses that they're selling for the eclipse, you know those the eclipse glasses, so it won't, make you squint your eyes and all that. What I suggest you doing is buy the glasses, look at the eclipse through the glasses, but try to look at it with your naked eyes too. Because who knows, they can be doing some of these glasses to alter what we see with this eclipse. So look at it from both perspectives. Look at it from all perspectives. Now this video this is a nail in the coffin. This is really irrefutable evidence. I mean, come on, globalists. Don't be so naive. Don't be so argumentative. This is actually undeniable evidence. You guys are being disingenuous. You're using a model that's inaccurate. It's not to scale. And the scale really matters in this experiment. It matters a hell of a lot. If you pull the moon up close to America like NASA did and like Professor Stick did, of course it'll work. But that's not the accurate model, and NASA is even admitting to that. So what I'm asking you to do is use the accurate model right here and show us how we would have a local eclipse above North America when you use the correct model. And if you can't use the correct model and demonstrate this phenomena, then explain to us why, if this model in front of me correct, why can't you use it to explain this local eclipse? Why? Why do you gotta use a model that isn't true to explain a phenomena that is true? Because this is not to scale. And if this is the true model, it just wouldn't work on this model. That's why they gotta use this one. I mean, a third grader can understand what I'm saying here. Scale matters. So use the fucking correct scale and then explain to us how we would have a fucking solar eclipse where it's only visible over North America. And then I will respect you. Until then, you're a bunch of fucking deceivers, and I'm out, and I've debunked the globe once again.